What's good, you guys? Daniel Cruz here, back with another episode of Cook with Cruz. Gonna be breaking down another beat that I made this week. This one's gonna be nice and simple, but still this one's gonna have a lot of energy to it. So I'm excited to hear you guys' feedback on this beat here and what you guys think on it. Just a quick reminder as well, if there's any beats of mine you want to see broken down, just hit me up in the comments anytime. I'll go ahead and make an episode on that. And you already know the drill. Before we jump in, please leave a thumbs up on the video as well as subscribe if you're not already. I'll be back next Sunday with another episode just like this, breaking down beats and songs that I made. So stay tuned with me on Sundays. Hit the like and subscribe so you can let YouTube know to let you know that I'm doing these episodes. So without further ado, guys, let's jump in and see what this beat sounds like. Okay, so jumping right into it. Melodies we're going to be working with today is again by Oscar Zulu and Stupid Lou. Our beat last week was by them as well. So shout out to them. They got a lot of dope stuff. But I came across this dope sample in their pack. So let's go ahead and hear what that's going to sound like. So that's what it sounded like. So right away, just playing the sample, just how the melody is and the rhythm of the chords going on, you can just kind of just feel the energy coming off of it. So goal then is to pretty much match that energy with some drums and see what we can make of it. So pretty much kind of how I'm already visualizing the track. I really just want those main chords, and that's pretty much it. So as usual, as you can see here on the top, pretty much chopped up the sample into its different sections. And as you'll hear, I put a main focus on just our main kind of chord melody that was going on there. And as you just heard, there was some bass in the sample and we don't have the files. So first thing I did was pretty much just EQ cut out all the lows. I have it sent to my low cut bus here, which is double cutting everything below 100 hertz here. So that's going to take out most of the bass for us and leave us room to add, an 808 in our own bass. As far as other changes, I did speed it up by 1 BPM or 2, depending on how you look at it. 140 to 142 now. Kept the key the same, and I really wanted to change the key, but as you'll hear in a minute here, just the tone of the 808 in this beat and the frequency range it's hitting on its root note was perfect to my ear. So I just wanted to keep it in that range. It hit hard where it is right now. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we're in the same key. So looking how we're going to start the beat off, it's not going to sound too different, just slightly faster now. And I did make, a few cuts here. If you remember from the original sample, there was kind of like this little bass kind of line roll. So because we didn't have the files, I had to get a little creative here and chop some parts out to kind of retain our main chord melody here. So that's what, kind of these weird chops are here for. So just as the intro of the sample caught my ear, I want that to be the intro of the beat. If it catches my ear, it's probably going to catch your ear or the artist's ear. So that's what we're going to start the beat off with. And then now moving on to, I guess we can use this as like a break, pre-hook maybe, but now we're moving on to a different section in the sample here. This one's gonna have some kind of, textures and background noises that they added in the sample that sound pretty nice. So that's just gonna develop the melody a little more. So let's run that back and see how this sounds. So you might be able to hear a little bit of the bass there. It's not going to be too big of a deal because I'm just going to layer up with my own bass. So that's what this pattern right here is. And for a patch, you already know we're an Omnisphere Growler Moog bass. Did the job right. And if we look into the piano roll, as you can see, we're just layering up the bass that was already in the sample. So I'm not really doing anything too different. But I did want a more subby bass. So looking into the mixer, I did cut everything pretty much above 500 hertz here, so This gave the actual Omnisphere patch a more subby, deeper feel. So now this is kind of what our pre-hook intro is going to sound like. So right there, you can already kind of anticipate this is where the drop is going to happen. I'm cutting out the bass right here, as well as chopping up the end of the beginning sample we had without the bass and the effects and stuff. So everything kind of thins out to get ready for this drop. So let's go ahead and go over that. So we are using a different section of the sample here. So this is a part of the sample where they took the melody and dropped it down an octave. This is going to be a nice switch up for the ear when we drop. They also kept those kind of texture effects, so it does sound pretty nice. So melody wise, that is all we need. The chords and just the melody is super strong and it's very dominant. We don't need anything else. So let's jump into the drums now. So this is our snare right here. It's kind of like a rim snare. Here's our hi-hat loop. As you can see, big time simplicity, just a simple two-step pattern. But zooming in here, I did kind of offset or delay the hats a little bit. This is going to just add extra bounce and swing to our beat here. Here is our open hat, our kick, and last but not least, our 808. And as I mentioned before, just the original key of the sample being in B minor, and just the B note on this 808, the frequency and the tone of it, it just hits really hard. But that's all there is to the drums. Goal here is simple and high energy. We don't want to add nothing too crazy going on. So let's go ahead and solo out these drums so you can hear what I'm talking about. So just that alone is probably going to make you bob your head. So you can see it doesn't take much to really get a bounce going, depending on, you know, the melodies you're working with. So, but that's just the vibe I got from the melody. So let's run it back. Listen to how this drop sounds now. So there goes our main drop right there. Probably we can use that for a hook. So once we got a solid loop going like that, it's pretty much just kind of downhill from there and structuring the beat out. So moving on, I guess this could be the start of our verse. We're moving on to a different section of the sample. This is actually our intro that we use. So we're going back up an octave on the melodies. And so now we can really kind of go back and forth between the octaves to keep the beat interesting. So as you can see here, next up in the verse, we're going back down. And then they also had a part in the sample where they did kind of this choppy tremolo effect here. So I ended up using this to kind of be like another drop, you know, continuing on in the verse. Sounds pretty dope. You'll hear what it sounds like right now. So you can hear that adds like a nice lead up for another drop in the verse, so sounds pretty dope. And then we're going back up an octave, as you can see here, just kind of going back and forth to keep the beat from going too stale. And then after that, it's pretty much rinse and repeat back into the pre-hook and then the hook. As you might have guessed, this beat didn't take me too long to make, and that is usually a good thing. Once we got the vibe going, that's all we really are looking for. So after this, like I mentioned, back into the pre-hook with the bass that we added, and then the drop again for the hook. So there it is right there. That's the beat I made this week. Let me know what you guys think of the beats. Big time, high energy, big time, not overthinking, catching the vibe, and just rolling with it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the beat. Write down in the comments. Let me know if there's any other beats you want to see me break down. Definitely make an episode on that. Once again, leave a thumbs up on the episode if you have not already, especially if you enjoyed today's episode. And while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed with the bell turned on, because I will be back next Sunday with another episode, breaking down another beat. So make sure you guys got all those things checked off the list. That is all for me today. I will see you guys next week. I'm out. Peace.